Yo, yo,
What's up,
yo.
y'all? My bad. What's up, y'all? And welcome back to another episode of Casual, Classy, and Cool, the People's Pod. It's your boy Treble J back in the building with my superstar co-host, Adrian Fox. You know
Yo,
what I'm
yo,
saying?
yo.
We back, y'all, for oh, hey, that was cool right there. I ain't gonna lie. We back for another episode, y'all. You feel what I'm saying? First things first, we appreciate everybody tuning in, rocking with us with the movement, with the show, the feedback, the whole nine. We've been getting good feedback again. We drop every Monday and Thursdays for your listening pleasures on Spotify for the audio and on YouTube for the video. Make sure that everybody knows that, you know what I'm saying, each and every week, y'all. But we back. You feel what I'm saying? If y'all didn't get a chance to, make sure y'all go check out episode 3. You know what I'm saying? Free from finances. I felt like Adrian definitely gave y'all some great gems on there, you know what I'm saying, really was authentically, you know what I'm saying, open with y'all about a lot of things. So we hope that, you know what I'm saying, y'all was really informed and got some great feedback and great knowledge, you know what I'm saying, from that episode specifically. So, salute to Adrian on that, man. But we
Thank you.
bringing a new element for y'all this week, man. You feel what I'm saying? Manifestation piece. As y'all can see, for those of y'all that's watching on YouTube, you see the back, the ambiance and everything, man. So we got a very informative episode, you know what I'm saying, for y'all to seek peace, not really be stressed about a lot of things too as well. So, we're gonna start it off on this week's episode, man, with manifestation. You know,
Mm-hmm.
what you gotta say about that, Adrian? You know what I'm saying, about the word manifestation in itself.
Um, I've manifested a few things in my life. Um, so if you don't believe that it's real, it's very real. And I'll give you an example. I want to say, it was like it would be 2 years this summer that I moved to this area. So I don't know if you guys know like Housewives of Atlanta. And then you have like Housewives of Potomac, that really rich area just outside of DC. Well, that's where I live. I live in North Potomac and I'm not rich, not like those women,
But you live there.
but
What you mean?
but I'm not rich. I swear I'm not rich. Um, so this was I was watching my girlfriend's dogs spring break 2 years ago. My coworker lives in Potomac and she's been at the firm that I work for some time, and she makes really good money. Anytime you can afford rent, that's $5,000 a month. You doing
What?
all right. Yeah, you doing all right for yourself. Um
Yeah. Oh
so I
no.
was watching her dogs, and I was at her house, and my son was running around in the backyard, and I was like, damn, I want this for my kid. And my girlfriend called and she's like, well, you should move there. And I'm like, huh, okay. Like maybe I could. Like maybe I could, you know. So I started driving around, looking at apartments. Um, my credit wasn't great. So I had some time to like fix it and get myself together. It was like March. And my son was starting kindergarten. And I don't know if you guys pay attention to like school districts and stuff, but Montgomery County in this Maryland area. So there's PG County and Montgomery County outside of DC, and Montgomery County is like one of the top public school counties like across America. Um,
In the world.
so I was like, well, I can't afford private school. So, the best of the best public school, obviously, if you're in an area where it's a bunch of rich people and they pay taxes, then the schools have big budgets and, you don't really have to worry about anything. They have all the resources and things that they need. Long story short, I found a place. My credit still wasn't great. And it was affordable, all utilities included, and it came fully furnished. So I was able to sell all my furniture. Yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I was able to sell all my furniture, and
First,
and move. All I had to do was like bring my clothes, so I didn't need a truck or nothing like that. and my son started at this school, um, this amazing school, and he loves it. And it was because I saw myself here for months. And that's what manifestation is. It's like projecting yourself into a space or into a zone or into whatever it is that you want and believing it so hard that it comes true. So I was in that space even up until like the beginning of August. I'm like, I need an address so I can register my kid. And I had prayed to God. A part of it I think is faith too. Whatever it is spiritually that you connect yourself to, whatever energy you connect yourself to, um, you I prayed and I was just like, look, I know I'm supposed to be here, but can you just like I can't see the path. Can you just like clear the path so that I can see what I'm getting ready to do and focus on it and like execute so that I can actually get there? And like a week later, I had the place that I was living. So, it's really yeah, it's really crazy how it works. And I'm actually reading a book right now that talks about source energy. So think about the entire world, right? Think about nature, flowers, trees, water. Like there are so many systems in place, and all of these things have energy. The animals, the life forces, like all of this stuff has energy. And it runs this system so smoothly. All of the change, all of the seasons, all of the growth, you know, things living, things dying, it all has an energy to it. And it was like, imagine if you could tap in to that energy. You can quiet your mind and tap into that energy to help you navigate through life. That's pretty much what manifestation is.
Mhm.
Have you ever manifested anything?
Oh yeah, definitely, definitely, definitely. I feel like even right now where we at in this space of like doing all this collectively, I definitely manifested. You know what I'm saying? This specifically, I feel like another important thing with manifestation too, like to your point, is that it's not always about like where you at in the moment. Manifestation is important when you believe in it, you know what I'm saying, what you see your vision in within yourself. Not everybody else, not the outside people, not, you know what I'm saying, your surroundings, like what you feel like you manifest and you envision yourself in, regardless of where you at now. I feel like, you know what I'm saying, that's how people should look at it because I think a lot of people limit themselves or feel like things are really a dream. But when it comes down to it on a deeper level, a lot of your dreams can become reality if you fully manifest it. And you know what I'm saying, you stick into that manifestation and you use the right words when you manifest into like it's not like maybe or if, you know what I'm saying, you use words like when and you know what I'm saying, and you express in a way that you kind of tell yourself, just like they say with affirmations, like on a daily basis, that this is what I'm trying to build, this is where I will be at, this is my game plan, this is what I'm gonna follow through with. And I feel like everybody got dreams and goals because everybody dreams, you know what I'm saying, when they sleep, but to a degree, a lot of people don't dream, to that degree, like when you actively live in life, like when when you're awake. And that's the whole point of what I'm saying, manifestation, like on that level. And I feel like when you fully manifest, it's not even about to a degree when certain things come in pieces. Like when you manifestation to a degree is like if you from 0 to 100, if I'm at level 100 and this is fully what I manifest, like in the space that I'm trying to be in, that's what you hold steady to. The same way you write in the journal, you know what I'm saying? The same way you envision in your head, the same way, you affirm yourself on a daily basis. I feel like a lot of people need to manifest to a degree to where everything positive in your life you gotta what I'm saying, you gotta keep that in mind. And you gotta be careful too as well. And I do want to tell y'all too, because you can also manifest in a negative way too as well. Like you beating yourself down, you saying feeling, being in the space where you feel like you keep struggling, you can't overcome obstacles. And then once you keep putting that same type of mentality in your head or that same thought process, you can manifest, you know what I'm saying, in a good way or a bad way. So you got to be careful with, what you feed in your mental, your spiritual, your emotional on a daily basis so that you know what I'm saying, you manifest it in the proper way. Cause like they say, you can do the good and you can do the bad. It's up to you when you are, you know what I'm saying, dreaming and goal setting and manifesting. you feel what I'm saying, that you're doing it in the proper way. I just feel like it's important to tell everybody that because
Yeah.
people be on the fence about manifestation because it's still a way that you gotta do it, so that's
And
important, y'all.
and let's not get it twisted. Like it's not magic.
Yeah, yeah,
Like, it is like it's a certain level of focus and just like your mental temperament, and like you got to put the work. Obviously you still have to like put work in. It doesn't just like magically happen overnight. um but if you believe in energy, like you ever meet somebody and a bunch of bad stuff is happening to them and you be like, oh no, I got to get away from this person because I don't know what they're doing in their life.
yeah,
Like, I don't know what you're doing for all this bad shit to be happening to you, but I don't want that shit to happen to me. I got to get the fuck
yep,
away from you. So, like, it's the same, like what you were saying just now, like that's an example of the same thing. Um, and for me personally, I started to really truly pay attention to because I think stress and depression are like the side effects are, I guess, like how we express those bad mental spaces that we're in. And
yep,
if you
yep,
sit in those spaces too long, I
yeah,
think that's where you're connecting those thought processes to your energy and you're not able to get out of that rut that you're in.
yeah,
Um, so what I did in terms of like helping me clear my mind and get the noise out, get the negativity out. And this might sound so cliche, go for a walk.
nah, that's
Exercising.
it, right, yeah, yeah,
Yeah, like exercising releases endorphins in your brain, similar to busting a nut, guys. It is extremely euphoric if you get up and you move your body. All right. So if you go for a walk and they're like, oh, go for a walk and I clear my mind, it actually does clear your mind. And you'll put yourself in a habit where you're freeing your brain up to have those positive thoughts, and think all of those positive things. And then in the morning, you know how like sometimes you'll hear a certain music or it'll be a certain frequency around you and you be like, oh, I'm not really feeling that. Like there's
yeah,
certain mornings where you can't play gang banging rap music. Like it's ooh, I don't want to start my morning off like that. Like,
yeah,
I
yeah,
don't
yeah.
want to sell pussy right now. It's 7 a.m. in the morning. I'm not shaking my butt. I'm not doing all that stuff. Like,
Oh,
let me wake up first, Jesus. Like, this is music for a Friday evening. This ain't no music for a Sunday morning. Like, you gotta.
that's
So,
facts.
it's the same thing. What your those frequencies, music, like all of that stuff has frequencies that you're sending to yourself. And I mean, you could call me crazy, but there's not a situation in my life financially where I feel like money just don't fall from the sky. Like if I ever reach a moment where I'm stuck or like for example, my check engine light came on. I think this was like in June, July. I drove to Philly to visit my parents. On my way back, my check engine light come on. And go to the shop and it's gonna cost me, I don't know, like almost $2,000. I'm like, I don't have $2,000 sitting in my bank account right now. But like randomly, I just started getting money like by the hundreds. I think my parents ended up giving me $100. My mom snuck some money in my purse. And like, I was like, here's the deposit. She's like, you sure you want to give me this money now? I said, get it out my hands. And it needs to go to this car. So like I focused my energy on, I'm gonna get the money for this. I'm gonna get the money for this. And my car was fixed in 2 weeks. $2,000 came out of nowhere in 2 weeks.
Yeah,
So when you come across these um hurdles in your life, understand why they're there. And I was literally just having a conversation about this. Um and like bad things will happen, but it's for a purpose, right? So like if you're getting ready to get a blessing, you'll probably be challenged with something that tests your patience. You'll probably be challenged with something that tests your morality. Are you going to stay faithful? Are you going to stay humble? Um if you are about to get a lot of money, you're gonna you have to you'll have a little bit, you'll have to appreciate where you are, and then you'll be, but like there are certain kind of like check marks
That's
that you
true.
have to get through before you get that blessing, or you get that thing. And if you don't come yet, then you're like, all right, well, damn, what is it that I need to work on now? Like, what am I not doing right for this thing to actually come to fruition? So yeah, mental space. And then even sometimes I just be like so thankful. Like sometimes in order to get more, you have to really be appreciative of what you currently have.
Oh, 100%. Imma say that 100% because I gotta double back on that too.
Hmm.
Appreciating what you have put you in the best space mentally possible, and I feel like that helped me in so many ways, especially when I have experienced a lot of stuff, you know what I'm saying, even up to this age now, like, just in life in general, personal relationship, you know what I'm saying, finances, the whole 9. When I learned to appreciate the stuff that I actually had and more so of like, you know what I'm saying, accepting the blessings and being thankful when I received the blessings and just like living literally in moments when I was grinding and doing certain things, or just been like, man, I'm cool just to have a car. I'm cool to just to have somewhere to lay my head.
Hmm.
I'm cool to just be able to have, you know what I'm saying, the consistent meal, you know what I'm saying, breakfast, lunch, dinner, whatever the case may be, to be able to get around it. Even if I go buy some or I have, you know what I'm saying, to a degree to at least within that setting of being able to afford it. Or like I said, even with bills to a degree. And like I feel like it's like three P's, you know what I'm saying, specifically that I feel like people gotta understand, especially when you're being appreciative and when you learning to, you know what I'm saying, appreciate the small stuff. You gotta be patient. Well, for my bad. You gotta be patient, you gotta be persistent, you gotta be positive, you know what I'm saying? And you gotta pray about a lot of things. I feel like if you do those four things, you know what I'm saying, consistently, like when you're in the process of getting to where you want to be, you'll be a lot more appreciative and a lot more, I guess the word like simplistic. Cause I feel like, especially at the place that I am in my life now, a lot of stuff don't really appeal to me to that degree. Like I'm not really materialistic. You feel what I'm saying? I'm really simple when it comes to certain stuff as far as like satisfying me to a degree or just like everyday life stuff. Like if I'm in a comfortable space and I'm at peace, I'm in the best situation possible. Because most people know, you know what I'm saying, I'm a homebody to a degree. Like I do, go out and other things like that too. But once I found like inner peace, you know what I'm saying, within myself, like in that and in my home space, it's probably the best I done felt like, you know what I'm saying, in a lifetime for real, as far as like really being in a space of being like, you know what, I am appreciative of the things I got. Could I have more? I mean, of course, you know what I'm saying, anybody would, but am I content like within this moment now of appreciating the stuff I do got and being able to take care of, you know what I'm saying, my priorities? Of course, a lot of people to a degree, to your point, you feel what I'm saying? It's a challenge for a lot of people to do that nowadays, especially like with the past year, with the economy and a lot of stuff. Everybody think about, well, I'm gonna get the next, you know what I'm saying, financial thing, well, I'm gonna do this, how I'm gonna take care of that, how I'm gonna do that. A lot of times that I've learned how to do, especially, you know what I'm saying, recently, is like reflect on a lot of stuff. If I go through something, it's a learning experience. I reflect on it, you know what I'm saying, I process what's going on. And then I gotta take time, you know what I'm saying, to be at peace about a lot of stuff. A lot of stuff to a degree go in and out of our heads. And then, you know what I'm saying, you got a lot on your plate, you juggling a lot. People don't take the time to sit sometimes like in silence, you know what I'm saying, in peace and like reflect on what's going on. Because when you got so much going on to a degree, and somebody told me this specifically, so I want to say this on the show. When you got a lot going on to a degree, sometimes you got to write it down and you got to sit with yourself sometimes and figure out mentally what the solution is. Because sometimes every solution ain't even a particular like physical action. When you depressed, when you're going through certain things to a degree, you got to sit through that and you got to process through it. Like I myself has definitely been a person. I've said this in the past before. I'm in a way better place, like 100%. I did deal with depression before. You feel what I'm saying? Way back. I did deal with, I guess to a degree, like, being scared about being in solitude and a lot of things like that. Like I dealt with certain stuff on a level to where when I learned like being peaceful, being persistent, you know what I'm saying, praying about a lot of stuff, having patience for sure. All of that to a degree, like literally organically went away because I understood, you know what I'm saying, which I feel like is important for everybody that's listening. Whatever you going through to a degree, when you think positive about a lot of things, like Adrian said too, when you manifest and you keep yourself at peace, I guarantee you a lot of things will work out in your favor. It could be a whole, you know what I'm saying, war going on or whatever outside of your house. But if you at in peace with yourself in your own circle, in your own bubble, and you ain't stressed about what's going on in the world, I guarantee y'all a lot of y'all will be in a way better space because you gotta understand this. Even though you ain't got everything you got, a lot of us, you know what I'm saying, that got more than others or got something that some people don't even have the basic essentials every day. A lot of y'all should be at peace with that, understanding that. You know what I'm saying? You got somewhere to lay your head, you got a meal, you got friends, you got family, you know what I'm saying? For those of y'all that are lucky that got, you know what I'm saying, husband and wives and all that and children, like it's a lot more about y'all being simplistic and being, manifesting the things that matter, not always manifesting everything just for the degree of like you want more. Because what do you want more of if you can't appreciate what you already got now? You can't get more without valuing, you know what I'm saying, what you building on now.
Yeah. And then like so I would say this, like we all know that stress is like a silent killer.
Yeah.
And we we tend to stress about things that aren't in our control. And when you're in a process of like manifesting or just like trying to clean up your emotional capacity so that you could be prepared or navigate through the challenges of life in general, sometimes we can sit in that state of stress a little bit too long. Stress can raise your blood pressure. Stress can cause a headache. It can make you irritable, impatient. It can make you angry. Um, and I was watching this video on Instagram, and he's a Indian kind of like guru guy. And he was basically saying that when you're stressed, like they did blood tests of someone who was like physically going through stress, and whatever chemical levels are balanced in that person's body, it emulated poison, like how your levels would react if poison had entered your body.
Yeah.
So when you are at a level of stress for an extended period of time, your body, your physical being is not okay. So finding peace in these situations and like whatever you through in your life that you can't control, it literally is for your own good to not, hold on to anger, to like forgive people. And it sounds like so again, like these things sound so cliche, but it works, and it's a powerful tool to learn to control as an adult. Like one lesson that I learned recently, because you could go through life, and especially if you're a good person, we get treated bad. You get taken advantage of and like all that stuff. And I've worked very hard to not let that kind of stuff change me. Like, am I going to stop being who I am naturally? And when you look at the stories and like biblically, Jesus or whatever, or whatever you have read, he was good to people who didn't appreciate him.
Yeah.
He had people stabbing him in his back, lying to him, betraying him, but he never changed who he was as a person. He continued to offer blessings. He continued to help people. He forgave people. And it's just like humanity, like that's really how we're supposed to live our lives. But as an adult, you find it hard when, to not change. And then like how you navigate through that so that you can keep your peace and keep your blessings coming. You don't change who you are. You understand the people around you, and you either remove yourself if you can. If you can't remove yourself, then you just accept that that person isn't going to love you the way that you love them. They're not going to do for you what you do for them. If you're the type of person who goes the extra mile for your friends and your family, and then you feel so hurt, or, when other people don't do it, you have to find a space where you're okay with doing all of the things that you do, and then it doesn't affect you. if the person it doesn't reciprocate those same feelings. So take the time in your life to understand who you are to the core, your values, your ethics, the things that you don't want to change about yourself, and do not let your life's experiences change you. You know what I mean? And in order for that to happen, 9 times out of 10, you have to resort to forgiveness and like true forgiveness.
Yeah.
You got to let things go, take the high road. You got to move on. Like you really and it's hard. It's hard not to be angry at somebody who hurt you, and then like we're
Yeah,
also
yeah,
dealing
yeah.
you also deal with these natural triggers, and I'm gonna touch on this point and then I'll let you chime in.
Okay.
So like when you get an injury, right? You It's trauma, right? So physical injury, say I twisted my knee or like a football quarterback. Anytime they get hit and they get like a crazy leg injury, they don't ever really run the same. They
Yeah,
don't take as many risks. So it's a natural when you experience things in your life, you naturally your body starts to naturally accommodate to not want to go back to that trauma or that change. So manifestation, finding peace, taking the high road. You have to literally practice. And it's like physical therapy. Every time you get injured in life, every time you get injured emotionally, you have to work and practice to bring yourself back to a point where you can exercise those feelings again and
right.
not take all the hatred and baggage and everything else from those prior situations that hurt you into your new friendships, into your new jobs, into your new relationships. You got to work on clearing that stuff out and letting go so that you can continue to receive the blessings that you're supposed to receive.
No, you're right. I agree with that. You know what I'm saying? And even from the aspect of like really learning peace and taking the high road, I feel like it's important because specifically for a lot of y'all, I kind of briefly touched on the situation, you know what I'm saying? But to be very transparent with y'all in the situation that I currently have going on, you know what I'm saying, with the mother of my kid or my daughter. And in most cases, I feel like if I wasn't a peaceful person, or you feel what I'm saying, I wasn't in the space of like having patience, like literally the 4 P's that I was just explaining to y'all, like even to Adrian point, it'd be hard for a lot of people to navigate certain situations because you only coming from the basis of, you know what I'm saying, either wanting to crash out, not being peaceful, or you know what I'm saying, being like irate and all that. But it take a lot to do that. And I tell y'all personally, you feel what I'm saying, within my family and everybody that's in my circle that know about my personal situation. A lot of people done said that I'm way more peaceful than the average person would have been. I'm definitely handling the situation, you know what I'm saying, a lot more, you know what I'm saying, level headed than a lot of people, especially within our own culture. Y'all know how the black culture is with men and, you know what I'm saying, women in general, especially when kids and stuff involved. But I feel like that's important. And I feel like it's genuine with me because I've learned how to not only cope with certain things, but you know what I'm saying, how to keep my peace of mind because like that's the most priceless thing I feel like anybody can have within themselves. You know what I'm saying? That has nothing to do with you gaining anything materialistic. Like your peace of mind and the way you control situations and you know what I'm saying, your narrative when you look at certain stuff has to be, you know what I'm saying, in a positive way regardless. Like, do I feel a way about the situation? Of course. Do I approach the situation in a certain type of way, like with me trying to keep peace? Definitely, because at the end of the day, regardless of what's going on, you know what I'm saying, in my situation, at some point when it is in a peaceful state, you feel what I'm saying? I'ma still have to, you know what I'm saying, be engaged within that situation because of the process, you know what I'm saying, of what I created. But I also tell people this 1,000 times over. Don't make the wrong decision, don't make the wrong interaction, and you know what I'm saying, don't have your mental peace affected even when you got turmoil going around you. And sometimes you gotta take the high road to a degree. You feel me? Like because I wanna like be transparent with y'all, especially within my situation. It's a lot of stuff I feel like on a daily basis I can mentally tap out of and you know what I'm saying, just be like in this slump of like how I'm feeling about certain stuff. But like I said, a peace of mind and finding peace within itself is the most important thing because at the end of the day, when people think you stressing out or that you in a certain place, but you're really in a peaceful state and you understanding that things gonna play out the way they're supposed to play out, in due time, it's very easy to be able to navigate through certain situations. And I feel like that definitely came with, even manifesting because I feel like I'm even manifesting that situation too to a degree that when it's gonna work out, this is what it's gonna look like. When I'm being patient, you feel what I'm saying, with through this whole year or so, you know what I mean? That's what it's gonna be when I'm being persistent on the things that I gotta do to a degree to, what I'm saying, represent what I gotta represent. That's what I'm gonna do. And when I'm praying about a lot of stuff, you know what I'm saying? Shouts out to my grandma for that too. Like they tell me every day, regardless of what's going on, the situations in life, whatever, you gotta have a peace of mind and you gotta pray to God about everything. You know what I'm saying? And He gonna do all those, different factors for you too as well. And like taking the high road is important. And especially for men, like so I could tell y'all this in the right way too. Because everybody want to be hard, you know what I'm saying, on the more cheese, more stuff and all that, especially when y'all dealing with females to a certain degree, but certain stuff shows that y'all don't have control of y'all mental capabilities at all. If you dealing with a situation and you feel like you doing stuff violently or you don't know how to control your emotional intelligence is one thing, but emotional capability, you know what I'm saying, is another thing too when you're dealing with certain situations. And I feel like more men gotta understand how to be able to do that, especially when you're dealing with, you know what I'm saying, females in any aspect that y'all learning, like what you can control. I don't even want to say what you can't control because that'll be bullshit if I'm telling y'all that on the show. You should be able to control
Yeah, cause you
everything.
yeah.
Yeah, you should be able to control everything, like no matter what it is, from the physical, mental, and emotional of dealing with a woman, you know what I'm saying, on any type of degree. And like I said, you will, like they say, when you say you brush certain things off, y'all have to do that period because at the end of the day, you get nowhere without having a, what I'm saying, a peace of mind within yourself. Because like Adrian said, if you got a lot of shit going on and you can't even process within yourself and you got other outside factors affecting you too, you ain't gonna never be at peace or be able to control any type of situation because you already dealing with turmoil left, right, front to back, and you have no place to, what I'm saying, sit and reflect and what I'm saying, put your mind and pause on anything. Y'all have to learn how to do that. And a lot of people, like I said, continue to ask me, and I am I in a peaceful state? 100%. I'm not faking it. I'm not sugarcoating it. None of it. Like my situation is what it is, and I'm gonna take the high road continuously, and I'm gonna be at a peace of mind. And when it's in due time for me to deal with it head on to the degree that I have to do, I'm gonna still deal with it. You know what I'm saying, in a peaceful state. Because when it come down to it, in this situation, whether I don't like it may seem like I don't have the upper hand, but the fact that I'm in peace on my end and it's not like that on the other end, that's just what it gotta be, y'all. So you know what I'm saying? The high road is the most important thing to do and control
Yeah.
your
I think we all go through things in life. And it's a part of the seasons, right? When you think about every life force on this planet, we all have seasons, we all have phases. And when you are connected like to yourself spiritually, or when you start to have those deep understandings of yourself, you can get frustrated in these processes, in these growth periods. What don't challenge you won't change you. Growth and transformations are very uncomfortable. I've said this before. Like, it's not, you don't think about the harsh winter that we go through, before springtime comes and we get to bloom, right? Like, you need the darkness and you need the sun. You need the rain. You know what I mean? Like, there's balance. You know what I mean? And when we're going through things, we have to focus on the balance and focus on the fact that, okay, this bad thing is happening to me and I have no idea why. I'm probably not going to know why for a couple of months or maybe a year, or what it's preparing me for later on down the line. Like, you have no idea why these things are happening. And then you go talk to an older person and they look at the young folks like, "Oh, you have no idea." Like,
doing that too.
because they've been through all of these transformations. That's why they look at us like we crazy.
Yup.
You know, they've been, and that's it's wisdom. You don't get to a point where you can advise somebody on something. You know, these counselors and life coaches, and you have to overcome a certain amount of things in order to be able to help other people or navigate other people through those situations. Um and I've had my share of challenges with my son's father. And I think in our community, if we want to use the co-parenting thing, and I know we'll probably pick an episode to go deeper into this topic, because we just don't do it well. And I think a lot of the times it's because of that, like African American men in general, being comfortable in your emotions and expressing your emotions and healing your emotions and reacting to emotional trauma. It's just not really been a space. I think now we're more aware, like this generation is definitely more aware of what it takes to like truly heal yourself and to continue to grow mentally and spiritually, as well as like your physical being, right? um yeah, we're more aware, but that doesn't mean the practice doesn't need to be there. And same thing for females. Like, we know that we're super 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 emotional beings, but we need to have discipline. Just because you PMS once a month don't give you an excuse to be a bitch. Control yourself. You know what I mean? Like, there's just no. It's no. It's a hard no. And like in both spaces where men and women are, you know, oftentimes like fighting over a child, something we created, that takes us down a rabbit hole of like some really deep feelings and emotions. And it's very hard for us to work through them. It is very hard for, us to talk to each other respectfully and not act like, when, women acting crazy and, men acting crazy oftentimes in those situations. It's because we're feeling something or we're feeling hurt and we're not able to get it out. So all of this stuff is connected. Being in tune with your emotions, listening to yourself, giving yourself a space to cry. Okay. Like, giving yourself space to decompress, forgiving yourself, and allowing yourself healing time, or at least accepting the fact that, okay, maybe I didn't do this right. Accountability. You know what I mean? Like, we don't get to these really hard roads or forks in the road in life without having made some decisions that got us there. You know what I mean? And like, in order for you to heal sometimes and be emotionally free and free your mind up to attract this good stuff, you might need to do some checking in with you. What did I do wrong? What could I have done better in order to avoid this particular situation? Or what kind of person was I in that situation? And what kind of person do I want to transform myself into? And what kind of work is that going to take? Because, and all of this stuff is connected. When you think about wanting a better life for yourself and wanting to be in rooms with certain people and gaining access to more resources and more finances, it starts here. It starts here. How you are dealing with yourself and the stuff that you go through, it permeates in your work. It permeates in your parenting. It permeates in your friendship groups, and you will, when you do the work in those areas, you'll have access to more stuff. Those doors will be open, they'll be granted. You'll get there, but you have to take accountability if and accept some stuff that you may have done wrong in order to, start making the changes that you need to grow.
No, I feel like that's important, like for sure. And like even on the other aspect, like specifically, which I'm gonna start off with being in tune with your emotions. I feel like the most important part as a man that you got to understand is not really to the degree about a woman being too emotional, because I feel like men, like in itself too, especially in certain situations, like we're emotional too. And I feel like y'all gotta find a balance between like masculinity, but still being able to openly express yourself without harboring like what your true emotions are. I feel like a lot of men on one end, it's like I gotta be hard body. I gotta carry myself a certain type of way, whether I'm in front of my friends, my women, my children, whatever the case may be, and never show instances where I'm feeling down or I need a, you know what I'm saying, mental break or I need to emotionally express myself. I think what we got to learn how to do and to create the safe space with other men to be able to do too is really be in tune with y'all emotions. Like as men, a lot of times, like we allow everything to build up, knowing that we still have the same level of expression that women have, and to the degree not letting us only show that expression at times when shit really hit the fan or when some, you know what I'm saying, put you in a bind or you in a dangerous situation. So now I'm gonna let out my emotions. I feel like it should be open communication with that, like on a daily basis, consistently, so that we opening up the door to be able to do that. And a lot of other men too, as far as like being in certain, you know, having certain conversations, I feel like it's good to do that because again, I'm talking from the male point of view, but y'all got to understand and be able to talk to your homeboys about real life stuff and not just everything that's on the surface because it's easy to do that. It's easy for us to go hoop or talk about the football game or the basketball game. It's easier for us to talk about women to a degree of who we dating or who we dealing with. It's easy for us to talk about, you know what I'm saying, what we gonna buy or what's cool or whatever. But what's not easy for us to talk about, what we gotta be in tune with is what you got going on this week. Or you took a loss, how you feel about that? You know what I'm saying? You having family issues, like what's going on with that? You know what I'm saying? Financially, it's putting you in a space to where you know what I'm saying, you dealing with depression and certain stuff. How you feel about that? Your relationship to a degree is not working because, you know what I'm saying, on one end, you feel like you can't be emotionally in tune with, you know what I'm saying, your significant other. Like we gotta learn to have a lot of those conversations, and I'm talking about consistently. I feel like myself personally, I'm able to do that because I've learned how to truly be in tune with my emotions, but still be masculine. And a lot of y'all too, to a degree too, you got to understand, you're not, you're being in tune with your emotions is not to, not to, let me make sure I get this out right. Not to impress, you know what I'm saying, your homeboys. Being in tune with your emotion to a degree is for yourself and always for, you know what I'm saying, the women that you dating or the women that's in your life in general, because those are the true spaces in which you can really tell that, like I said, with emotional intelligence from last episode and just being in tune in general, because a lot of y'all are fearful to do certain things, and fear also affects everything else that we've talked about in this episode. Fear affects you manifesting things. Fear affects you finding peace within your self. Fear affects you taking the high road on certain things too as well. Y'all gotta learn to be open with your expression without worried about repercussions of what people gonna say. Because I'm gonna say this very clear, and I've said this ever since I first started podcasting. I could give a damn what anybody have to say about me expressing certain things to a degree because I know I'm true to myself and I do have different pockets when I'm expressing certain stuff. If I'm sad, I'm gonna express it. If I'm going through certain things too, I'm gonna express it. If I'm in the greatest space, you know what I'm saying, positively the whole nine, I'm gonna express it. But one thing I'm gonna be in tune with my emotions, no matter who it is, my homeboys, women I'm dealing with, you know what I'm saying, my parents, my grandparents, whatever the case may be, different females, like, you know what I'm saying, friends or whatever that's in my mix, because the best way for y'all to be able to navigate certain things, especially in this particular episode, you got to be in tune with yourself. A lot of people is y'all want to portray a certain image or you want to, you know, be like somebody else, but never really in tune with your own mental state, your own heart, your own spiritual side of being in tune with everything without worrying about what somebody is going to say about it. You being authentically in tune with yourself, I guarantee y'all, especially for men, like I feel like women are already mastered this because when it comes to a lot of stuff, they already more equipped and you know what I'm saying, more wise on in that aspect anyway. But as men, I feel like we gotta be equally yoked in that area too of y'all being able to express yourself. If you don't have it and you dealing with a woman to a degree, y'all need to express that y'all don't have it. Don't sit back and be like, damn, I'm trying to hurry up and figure some shit out and I have no solution instead of telling your woman the truth. if you dealing with a certain type of woman and you trying to put on the front and not being authentically yourself because you can't be in tune with certain things that if she like art to go to the museum or she like certain sentimental shit, you don't have to be hard and make it seem like you don't want to deal with that because it's not manly for you to, you know what I'm saying, be in certain spaces of like be in tune with certain stuff to feel like you soft or whatever. Y'all gotta get past that shit because at the end of the day, as a man, you gotta be equally balanced. It's not always about taking the lead, you know what I'm saying, doing the physical acts of certain things too. Because if you don't have no mental, like I said before, when you're dealing with certain things too, all you doing is just one aspect of the full body of work. Yeah, yeah, physically you strong, physically you can handle business, physically you could take the lead, you know what I'm saying, as a family man and all that. But mentally, without y'all being in tune with your emotions, you're gonna lose sight of everything else. And we gotta learn to do that. Like have
And
more conversations as men from an emotional standpoint.
yeah, and it it makes you a better leader. And being in tune with your emotions, you first have to decide what kind of man you want to be, right? And everybody's not going to be the same. But if you are dedicating yourself to being a good man, a good husband, a good father, all of those things, start with like what he's saying. It starts with what your focuses are on. And I'll tell you this, like I've had my dad in my life my whole life. I'm a daddy's girl. And the first time I saw him cry, it was because he didn't want to give me a spanking. And like I was doing something bad. I wasn't the greatest kid. Probably writing on the wall or something like that, or just being dumb. And he would tell me over and over and over not to do stuff. And then, back in the day, I don't think anybody really beats their kids anymore. But that was the thing.
Yeah, you're right.
And he like broke down. He's like, "Do you think I want to do this? I don't want to beat you. Like, I just want you to listen and do what I'm asking you to do because I know that if you don't follow the rules, there are repercussions." Seeing my father break down like that, and underlining, like it made it a safe space for me with him, with a male leader in my life. Um, so when I'm PMSing, and I tell this story all the time because it's twofold. Him expressing his emotions to me when he's checking mine, I kind of gotta humble myself, like, okay, the man know what he talking about. Like you can't. So men, that's what I'm saying. It makes you a better leader. So I'm going through my PMSing phase, and I'm barking at my brothers and sisters in the house, and I'm not understanding why I'm being emotional. And he takes me and he puts me in front of the mirror, and he says, "Look at yourself. Stop what you're doing and look at yourself. And you need to realize right now that you are the one with the problem. It's not your sisters, it's not your brother. You are the one with the problem. And you need to collect yourself and get yourself together and come back and participate in this family like you have some sense." I was pissed. Me, I'm the one with the problem. She did this. Da, 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 da. And like these are the things that we have to practice, men and women. When you're feeling your emotions, they're fine. Like we all have them. But then you get back to the accountability part. Like, yeah, you can feel them, but you can't let them make rational decisions. You know what I mean? Like make you do things to make the situation worse. You got to kind of take a step back, take the accountability, feel the emotion. It's okay to feel it, but don't live in it and let it poison, whatever situation it is that you have going on that's challenging for you to work through. I mean, even recently, my dad was talking to all of us and he was like, "I want to be a better father." Like that's stemming from an emotional place. It's like, okay, well, why is it that that's something that you want to pay attention to. And like, you don't ever stop being a parent. You don't stop being a child. You don't, like, these relationships have emotional bonds to them, and they grow and they evolve and they change. And you have to make a conscious effort to do the work and be again, it's a choice. It's a choice. If you want to be the best version of yourself, we're just giving you some of the tools that we use to help become the best versions of ourselves.
No, that's true. You're right, and I feel like even to your point with that, like I gotta say something specifically because I feel like everybody don't kind of experience this, but that's why you gotta have balance. Because on my end, it's the opposite to a degree, but you know what I'm saying in a good way. It's a lesson with everything. Sometimes y'all gotta turn trauma into, you know what I'm saying, peace too as well, like to be able to control emotions. Because a lot of y'all they do know, but they don't know, you know what I'm saying, through music or whatever, past episodes I done expressed. Like, I lost my dad at an early age. And I'm not talking about just like a simple situation, like a traumatic situation. Like my dad was killed like when I was like 9, 10 years old. You know what I'm saying? Heavy in the streets, other stuff like that too as well. But I had to balance, you know what I'm saying, from my mother, you know, grandma, you know what I'm saying, female figures, you know what I'm saying, within my family, because it's a lot of females in my family to a degree. And I felt like certain situations like balancing me out, like as a man, like, you know what I'm saying, even at this age now to where I was able to get I was able to keep the masculinity, but then also be more understanding and you know what I'm saying, being able to express my emotions on both sides because I balanced out the situation. Like my mom taught me a lot of stuff, still continue to do so, you know what I'm saying? Like to be real with y'all, my mom come from that background too as well. My uncles, all that, just as far as like, in the hood, different mentality, you know what I'm saying, the streets, all that type of stuff. So like to a degree, that's been a part of, you know what I'm saying, my childhood off the basis of that. But the fact that, you know what I'm saying, my mom like created a opportunity for me, showed me certain things from an emotional standpoint, how to treat a woman, all this different stuff, even though I had a traumatic, you know what I'm saying, past before. I feel like that was important for me to be able to be, you know what I'm saying, in tune with my emotions, but then also be able to deal with certain things the right way. Like how you said, your dad to a degree with discipline and other stuff. Like I do have a daughter now. And when it's, you know what I'm saying, full time, when I'm in that space to be able to teach her and guide her with certain stuff, like I feel like that's very important to me. Cause first of all, I didn't really fully get that experience, but also even though I didn't, I gotta turn that, you know what I'm saying, negative situation into a positive. Cause pretty much from 9, 10 years old to I'm in my 30s now, you feel what I'm saying? Like, I've had other male presence to a degree, you feel what I'm saying, the people within my circle and all that, but, like, that key factor or foundation of, like, a father to a degree, that's been gone for, you know what I'm saying, a long time at this point. So, like, it's just certain factors that'll change y'all, and you gotta think about that too, the same way to a degree that y'all have children and then you begin to change as a man too. You gotta look at your children, you know what I'm saying, to the same degree as how you handle your emotions and certain things too, because you're right, a lot of y'all dudes out there have daughters, you know what I'm saying, and then completely change your whole perspective, your whole narrative, the way you move, the way you talk, the way you do everything, you know what I'm saying, because of that. And some of y'all to a degree too, only like I said, share emotions in certain pockets. Even a lot of us do have certain pasts, I feel like, and it do shape certain men. Like I get it. I give accountability and credit to that because I feel like it is hard for a lot of people to a degree, especially from a man point of view, depending on what type of background you come from. But I'm just telling you from experience, it's possible, you know what I'm saying, to do that. And you gotta take certain situations, like Adrian said, you can't harbor on certain stuff too and try to find peace. Like if it came down to it to a degree, like I was on the first end when I first experienced that with my, you know what I'm saying, with my dad early on and stuff, and I just harbored that hate for people to a degree, or I harbored that space of just standing there and not finding the peace of mind on anything, I would never be mentally, you know what I'm saying, in the space that I'm in right now in life of going through certain stuff, growing up, you know what I'm saying, not being able to do the father son type of stuff, growing up, not having to have certain conversations to a degree. I mean, obviously with my uncles, but you know what I'm saying, not with a father, growing up to have, the birds and the bees, all the situations that you feel like with a father that you'll have as a man to a degree, but that didn't shape, what I'm saying, the space that I'm in now. And I feel like the most important thing to a degree of why I got a lot of, what I'm saying, males, I feel like following what I got going on and gravitating to what I'm doing because I'm gonna be authentically myself from an emotional standpoint and really stand on the truth of, what I'm saying, how I feel like we as men, it don't matter your race, your color, whatever the case may be, that we as men got to be able to be. And that's the important thing. Like, y'all already got the wrong type of, what I'm saying, influence out there. So somebody to a degree got to be able to stand in that space, what I'm saying, with y'all now, that come from a certain background to be able to let y'all know that you got to be able to have these different conversations. The same way I'm on here with Adrian and we could go into different topics and we can be in different dynamics and all that and what I'm saying, trade off conversation. That's how I feel like y'all should be. Y'all should take this as a stepping stone, what I'm saying, of being able to navigate with each other, from men to women in general. I feel like that's very important for both sides to be able to pay attention to not only what we saying, but how we carrying ourselves, what I'm saying, on this show for sure.
And know this, please know this. Life happens to all of us. It's not easy. Like, um, my dad's mom died when he was 17. He lost his first child 3 months after that, or before that. I can't remember the sequence. He lost his best friend around that same time. And then his dad died when he was 21. He was far from perfect and had a lot of trauma,
Yeah.
but he made a choice to be in his kid's life. He made a choice to change. He was in the streets. He made a choice to change what he knew to be true and create a life and a family that he always wanted. So, yes, life sucks and you're going to be torn down in ways that, you know, neither myself or Trouble could experience, and it's going to suck. Um but you have, through manifestation, through finding peace, through prayer, clearing your mind, like you as you go through these things, you have to really wash that stuff away. You know what I mean? You got to put yourself through a cycle and wash that stuff away and continue to focus on bringing that positivity into your life. Focus on changing that environment. All of this stuff is a choice. It's a choice. You know what I mean? Like, you decide the person that you want to be, and irregardless of all of the things that knock you down, you stand up and you be that same person. All these people standing on business, stop standing on stupid stuff, please.
Yeah,
No,
definitely.
I'm not going to talk to you anymore because you cheated on me. I'm standing on business. Like, let's like stand on like some real stuff. Unpacking the stuff that's bothering you. Stand on finding yourself. Stand on understanding your emotions. Stand on the next version of yourself and where you see yourself going and putting a plan in motion to get there. Stand on that. Please hold your friends accountable, like hold the people around you accountable. And when you're going through these phases and you going through these changes and you in a group, like right now, if Trouble was to say, Dro, you tripping, I gotta receive that. Now don't think when you going through this stuff that you not gonna get checked every now and then. And you have to be willing to receive that when you're getting the constructive criticism from the people around you that love you, whether it's your parents or your friends or whoever. It takes a lot to transform yourself and invite the things and change your life and invite the things that you want into your life. And you got to do the work. You have to.
That's true. I agree with that 100%. You're right. Like, yeah, it's a mentality of everything, you know what I'm saying, on a daily basis. Like I said, of all these conversations we have with y'all, man, the mindset is everything. The way you control your mental, your physical, your emotional, your spiritual is like key to everyday life in general. It don't matter what the dynamic is, what the situation is, what the conversation is. it's a certain way, you know what I'm saying, you gotta grow and evolve, like, as an individual within yourself, and, you know what I'm saying, you gotta continue to improve and learn, and you're right to be able to take, you know, certain conversations or certain situations and turn them into a positive. That's the whole important part of this episode, like, being in a positive space, finding peace, manifesting, you know what I'm saying, staying strong through everything that's going on, having the right mindset, all of it, and as much as they say it's easier said than done, nah, that's not always the case sometimes it's what I'm saying, it's what you say before it can be done. If you tell yourself you can't if you can't say it, it won't be done. Y'all gotta understand, you know what I'm saying, the importance of that phrase even within itself. It's easy to do a lot of things when you got the right mindset, period. That's why people successful. That's why people, what I'm saying, reach all their highest potential. That's why people reach their goals because they got the right approach. They manifest it. They keep it in their head. They say it. They execute because you can't do nothing with success without executing it. And you know what I'm saying? They keep a positive mentality because we all dreamers out here at the end of the day, you know what I'm saying? And we working towards, bettering ourselves. So I do hope that as we continue these episodes and, you know what I'm saying, keep growing with this show that we're making an impact on as many people as possible from the youth, people in our age demographic, even to the older, you know what I'm saying, people out there listening to a degree because everybody to a degree, you learning different things and you understanding people emotionally, you know what I'm saying, throughout your whole entire life until you no longer here. So that's very important that, you know what I'm saying, we encouraging y'all and we supporting y'all and, you know what I'm saying, advising y'all in the right way. So I just appreciate, you know what I'm saying, the fact of having this platform to be able to, help y'all as much as we can, y'all, on a weekly basis for sure.
Absolutely. Love yourself, guys. If you don't do nothing else, love yourself, who you truly are. All your scars, all the broken pieces of you. Love it. Love it all cuz none of us are perfect. We weren't made to be perfect.
Exactly, and be your true self, just like Adrian said,
Yeah.
please be yourself, not nobody else.
Stretch marks and say like clumps and all.
Oh, man.
I
Yeah,
love
I
all my
it be like
imperfections.
that, hey, you know what I'm saying? Gotta love yourself regardless, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, that's what other people worried about, gotta be yourself. Well, we appreciate y'all, you know what I'm saying, tuning in for another week with y'all. We're just gonna continue to grow and elevate from here. Great episodes each and every week, casual conversations across the nation, cool vibes weekly. We'll catch y'all next week, man, on a classy, casual, cool People's Pod, man. We out.